Dublin's Georgian squares and buildings are world-renowned, and their architectural beauty beyond question. After years of decline and neglect, laws are now in place to protect them, and restoration and conservation is the order of the day. Carl and Ivan Crowe, as traditional joiners, are playing their part in this rejuvenation.
It's a family business we started over 20 years ago. We specialise in the restoration and refurbishment of sash windows and hall doors, interior architraves, skirtings, dado rails, and that's our niche market.
During the 70s, aluminium and later PVC were very much in vogue. Over time, attitudes have changed in that people have begun to realise that aluminium and PVC is not the saving grace it was said to be, basically, and that the benefits of having sash windows and Georgian doors, I mean, are manifold when it comes to a period house.
Examples of Carl and Ivan's work can be found all over Dublin, such as these beautiful reproduction doors. They've also restored the interiors of many historic houses and can be contacted through the Irish Georgian Society's website.
Well, basically at the start of the 18th century, the glazing bars the Georgians were using were quite heavy. Here's an example of one of them that was taken from a house in Henrietta Street, and a sample was taken and was reproduced in this. It's a very heavy glazing bar. It's approximately 2 inches thick, but a lot of them in the kind of mid-18th century seem to be taken out and replaced with a much finer bar, which is this section here. Now, Georgian sashes in general were broken up into small panes. They would have 6 panes, 3 panes, or 9 panes. The reason behind that was that the production of glass in the Georgian era was quite limited. They were quite limited in what they could do. So that's why they had the Georgian sashes broken up into small panes. It's very difficult when you are restoring a window or a door, because you are using part of the original fabric of that piece. You must match the mouldings exactly. Otherwise, it'll be immediately obvious that it's not right. The technology was there in the Georgian era to make these things, so I mean it's been with us for 300 years or more. What actually happened was technology moved on, and joinery shops in general were sold systems that would produce a particular profile. Now, in order to change that profile, it requires a lot of rejigging machinery. And joinery shops in the 70s and 80s and even today are not prepared to do that, because they want to see a constant throughput of a particular profile. We grind our own cutters. We would get a profile in and we would make a cutter to suit that profile.
And this door here is a door that's come into us for restoration. Here you can see one of the panels from the door with some of the paint stripped from the side, and the timber is in good condition, so this panel will be reused. Unfortunately, this lock rail here, due to letter plates being cut in over the years, has fallen to pieces. We're going to replace this rail here, as you can see on the door, with a new rail, but most of the original rails are still intact and will be reused in the original door. When we're finished this door, 75% of the original timber panels and rails will be intact in the door, and the door will have a new lease of life.
Over the years, 90% of our work involves working with Georgian buildings and some Victorian buildings, and when you see the detail and the workmanship that went into the original buildings, it's, you know, you can be awestruck sometimes. And when you compare that to some of the modern stuff nowadays, I mean, there's simply no comparison. It's amazing some of these windows and doors have lasted 300 years, given that they've gone through several world wars, God knows how many insurrections and rebellions, and, you know, they're still in working order. I mean, it's a great tribute to the people who created this stuff at the start.